Welcome to Unsubscribe. I'm your host, Avani Jane. In this podcast, I'm going to show you how to intentionally opt out of anything that's robbing you of your energy, freedom, joy, and peace of mind. It's time to let it all go, finally, so that you can clear your mental inboxes and make space to subscribe to a life that truly lights your soul. If you're ready, hop in. We are embarking on the transformation of a lifetime. Hello. Welcome back to Unsubscribe. Today's topic is going to be a good one. I feel like it's something that I've been teasing for several weeks now, and it took me years to perfect this. And that is how I run my multiple six-figure agency on a 15-hour work week, because that is my reality right now. And I don't have capacity for more than 15 hours in terms of work. And I really love it. I just love the space. I love the freedom to work on other projects, work on other things, and I want to break it all down for you. So that's what we're going to do in today's episode. We're going to dive into all of the different pieces. We're going to dive into the various types of work that I do, how I approach meetings, and other things that I've done to set up my agency so that systems are working for me, automations are working for me, processes and just the way of operating is working for me in my life and also my team's life, which is really cool too. But before we get into that, I want to share a little bit of the behind the scenes of this episode, because I think it's been another 2 weeks since I've recorded episodes, and I do my best to batch and take advantage of space when I have it, when I'm not traveling. And it's interesting because I felt like, okay, I needed to record an episode because we have no more in the queue and something needs to go out next week. And I was like, I don't know. I don't feel like I have the energy to turn on, to be present, to show up and be bubbly and talk to you all for a little bit. And it's funny because I should go back and listen to my own episodes. I had an episode about summoning the muse and how we don't wait for the muse. We summon the muse. We create the environment or the conditions to be creative and to have that energy to show up. And it's exactly like how I said. I had my morning, I worked out, and then I had this burst of energy. I was like, oh, I have so many ideas coming to me. I feel creative. I feel energized. I feel like I could sit and talk to you all on camera and wear makeup and be on. And it worked. All the things that I needed to be true in order to summon the muse worked. So sometimes I just have to stop thinking so much and take action and know that that is what works sometimes. And I think we all often just get so into our heads and have dialogues that stop us from just doing small things or regular things. And it was just such a good reminder for me that actions lead and feelings follow. So I wanted to share that little tidbit with you, a little unrelated to today's podcast episode, but still a good one. And now I'm excited to be here with you. Whenever I show up, I am excited to be here with you. I just am not always in that like perfect energy to show up and be on and be present. And that's okay because I happen to be human too. But enough of that topic. Let's dive in to the juicy part of today's episode, because I'm breaking it all down. I have some notes here and I'm sure I'm going to go rogue and tell you a few stories. So let's buckle up. We're going deep. I have a 15-hour work week today. And one thing I decided to do years and years ago was unsubscribe to the concept of a 40-hour work week. When I started my agency in 2017, one of the things that really propelled me to start my own freelance work at that time was because I just did not want to have to go to a place, sit at a desk from 9 to 5 every single day in, day out, and be really chained to someone else's reality, chained to someone else's big dreams and big success. And it wasn't for me. It just was not. I didn't like it. I didn't love it. And at that time, remote work wasn't really a thing. Maybe if it was, that would have been an interesting option for me before diving into freelance. But I'm kind of glad it wasn't, because it forced me to make moves to create a life where work felt fulfilling. And so that's what I did. And that is when I decided that year, like 2017, 18, that time frame, I'm going to unsubscribe to a 40-hour work week, because first of all, a 40-hour work week was created during the Industrial Revolution, so many decades ago. And it was created to support people going to work and being there for 40 hours, clocking in, clocking out. And it really helped to bump up the amount of hours of labor companies got, factories got. And then childcare was hard, of course, because people had kids. And that's when the school systems changed too. And that's when kids started to go for education, to school, to class for longer days, because it not only became education, but also childcare as well. So that's a whole interesting other piece to the story. But coming back to that 40-hour work week, it was designed to support that surge, the Industrial Revolution, and how we worked at that time, how society operated at that time. The thing is, we are not all, many of us, probably you, if you're listening to this podcast, are not working in those conditions anymore, not working in that world anymore. And we are knowledge workers. We are here, we're sharing our knowledge. We maybe have a job that we go to. And actually, if you go to a job, and a lot of people today do expect you to show up for a certain number of hours to look like you're working. And some of these things will be applicable to you, because I want to show you how you can be more effective with your time, how you can be super productive. And maybe if you're remote, you can be super productive and then be working on other things after your 9 to 5 work is done. But there's also some pieces of advice I'm going to be sharing with you that might not be applicable. So I just wanted to share that if you do have a job that you're working at for someone else, there might be some things that you will have to leave behind from this conversation. And that's okay. Save it for later, or just ignore it. That's okay too. So the 40-hour work week was designed for that time. And today we don't operate in that way. We don't need to be sitting in front of a computer, in front of our workstation for 40 hours in order to be productive, in order to be effective or get work done. And if you have a business, if you have a type of work that you've created for yourself, maybe you're a freelancer, you're working in that more like gig economy type of format, you get to design your schedule. You get to design your days, your weeks, and you get to design your productivity levels too. So why don't we take advantage of that? That was really my mission when I started my agency, when I started my own business. How can I design work so that it feels really, really good for me, and it's extremely productive, extremely effective, and creates great results in the world, and I'm not chained to my desk anymore? So that's what I've been working on for the last 7 years. And I think I finally figured it out. So today is the end of the 12th week of the year. It is, what's today's date? March 22nd when I'm recording this. And in the last 12 weeks of the year, there have been only 3 weeks where I worked more than 15 hours. Most of the weeks are like 10 to 12 hour weeks where I'm sitting and working in front of my desk for Matcha Design Labs. The reason I know this is because I track every minute that I'm sitting and working on work stuff. We've done this forever. My whole team does this. We use Toggle to time track. And so I have the analytics, which I highly recommend you track your time. Even if you don't run a business, track your time so you have the analytics, so you know where your time is going, and you know then you can analyze it later and figure out, like, I spent 30 hours on this last week and it is not a high priority item that's moving the needle. Let's make a change. There's really good value in analytics. And that's one of the reasons I'm able to iterate on my schedule, on the way I work, because I have the analytics. I can go back and do audits once a year and figure out, like, hey, these 10 things, they didn't produce results. They took up a lot of your time. You need to put them on the chopping block. They're done. The idea of tracking your time and being able to analyze it in that way is so incredible. Just the data. Oh my gosh, just the data. And if you feel overwhelmed by time tracking forever, just try it for a week and do an audit on yourself, because you'll learn so much from that. So I'm time tracking, and I'm telling you, this is what I've done for the last 12 weeks of the year. And what I want to do is break down how it happens. And we're going to talk about first the 2 types of work that I do. And most of us, if you are a knowledge worker, when I say knowledge worker, that means you are using your mind to make money. Most of us are. You are doing these 2 types of work. So number 1 is computer work, and number 2 is phone work. So let's talk about these 2 types of work. Computer work is a type of work where you're sitting like this, like I am, in front of my computer. Hi. And I am on. I have my whole workstation set up. It's in my office. It's my desk. I have my keyboard. I have my mouse. I need to be here. I need to have things open, windows open to talk to my team, to review things in Figma, to check on ClickUp, to record the podcast, to have my mic in front of me. All of that stuff is computer work. And for me, computer work is kind of like that serious, I'm wearing my blue light blocking glasses kind of work. It's serious work. Inside computer work, there's two types of subcategories for me as well. One is potato computer work, and one is makeup computer work. So today, I am having a makeup computer work day because I'm showing up here to record content, and we record our videos to eventually one day post on YouTube or to make reels. And makeup work means I'm showing up, I'm on, I have to talk to people, and sometimes I'm also in meetings. I don't always wear makeup for all my Zoom meetings, but sometimes I do. And so makeup work is the category of we are on, we are showing up, we are high energy, and that's how we got to be. And that is happening in front of my computer because I need to have Zoom in front of me. I need to have my little webcam in front of me to record my mic and so on. That's a very different kind of work than the second type of work, which is potato computer work. Potato computer work means I get to look like a potato. I get to look like a complete scrub and work on stuff. I can get a lot done. I can zoom through all of my ClickUp tasks. I can review a bunch of stuff for the team. I can send out what I need to send out, like emails, respond to my inbox stuff, respond to Slack, assign out to team members, create, outlines for podcast episodes, or make lists of what I need to do and assign out to my team. That is potato computer work. And I need to sit down here and have my space and time. Often I use my little time cube, which I love. If you're on the YouTube channel, you're seeing me show it to you right now. You just heard it click. I love my time cube for potato computer work because I can race the clock to get things done. I just turn it on its side and choose an increment of like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and I get stuff done. This is really important if you want to be effective with your time. So many people are ineffective with their time. They are not efficient. They're sitting, they're distracted, they get pulled into many different things at once, and they're just not effective with their time. That's why I love the time cube, because when I'm doing potato computer work, I can sit down, turn my time cube on its side, and for 15 minutes, I can blast through my inbox. It's been such a game changer for me because I tend to be someone who likes to multitask and have 10 tabs open in my brain at once, and that's not the best way to get things done. To be effective when we're sitting at our computer and getting potato work done, we need to be on task, be on target. And so that is the second type of computer work. So that's makeup computer work, potato computer work. These are things that I'm doing, and I need to have my workstation in front of me. Now we have phone work. Phone work is like kind of my favorite thing because it helps me be hyper productive in the in-between moments of my day. So phone work are those tasks that I can do from my phone. I have a smartphone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro, and it is a computer. It's like a mini computer that fits in my pocket, and I can take it with me everywhere. So when I have downtimes, when I'm waiting in the waiting room of my chiropractor, when I am in line at the post office, when I'm checking out at the grocery store, when I'm waiting for a friend at a coffee shop, in these in-between moments, I will take out my phone and I have phone work ready to go for me. What does phone work look like? It looks like responding to emails. That's such great phone work. I will go through all my inboxes, getting to Slack 0 as well. So going through all the Slack messages, responding to things there, going through my ClickUp tasks to see if there's anything that I can give a response on from my phone that doesn't need me to be in front of my computer. So clearing that out, at least from a easy, hey, here's a thing, here's an update, reviewed, great, check it off, reassign, or mark as complete. I can make phone calls. I can send text messages. This is a really good time to catch up on like personal text messages. I mean, that doesn't necessarily fall under the category of work, but I also like to batch my personal text messages and not respond them when they come in, but respond to them in batches of 5 or 6 when I have time to do little phone work. What else am I doing during my phone work time? I am maybe doing some quick shopping that I need to do, like
I guess now we're getting out of the work category. This is how I get all my work done. So we're gonna take this detour because I think it's important. All of us have non-work work. This is when I get my Amazon cart filled and checked out. I know there's a bunch of stuff that we need for the house, and I want to make sure we order it. If there's things I need to buy, like I know I'm going to get a gift for someone, if I need to write a email or a note to somebody and I've been putting it off, I will do that. These are all things I can do from my phone. I will send voice notes from my phone, listen to voice notes. Sometimes I will review podcast episodes from my phone. I'll bring my AirPods with me, and I have my AirPods in my purse all the time so I can do this. And if you have no work to do and you just want to be productive, listen to a podcast episode. Just like pick a great podcast episode that you like and listen to that. The whole goal here is to, in the time that you have, how can you be most productive so that you can, in your non-work windows, enjoy your life? And that's what phone work is all about, is can I get those little tiny things done and out of the way and then go live my life in the evenings and the weekends and the afternoons, whenever I'm not working. And this system of categorizing work as computer work, potato makeup, and phone work has helped me think about work differently, because now I don't have to be at my office, have to have like the perfect setup to do everything. I can utilize where I am, when I am, and still be getting things done. This is how I get so much done in a day, because I'm taking advantage of this system. And why do I like this system so much? It's not that I want a system. I don't want to create complexity in my life. The thing that I like about systems and this system is that it has provided freedom for me. Freedom is one of my core values. It's what I crave every single day. I want to be able to walk out the door, go see a friend whenever I want to. I want to be able to take a walk. It's a beautiful day outside today in Austin. I want to go take a walk today. That is freedom. And because I have this system in place about how I work and how things operate, I'm able to tap into that freedom on a regular basis. I'm just so grateful for that. So that is how I approach work overall. Now, I want to talk a little bit about meetings, because meetings are a huge time suck. I can't have most meetings from my phone because I'm looking at a screen share from a client or a team member who's presenting, and client meetings just can't usually happen from my phone. Sometimes they can if I'm more of a silent participant, but they just can't. So I am making sure my meetings, because they're also a high energy type of work, I need to be present, I need to be talking, I need to be on. I'm making sure my meetings are falling within my schedule. So typically only Tuesdays and Thursdays are reserved for meetings. So Tuesdays and Thursdays tend to be meeting heavy days, event heavy days for me, because that way I'm able to be on and be in that mode for the agency. I actually put most of my agency work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'll have like 4 or 5 hour days on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then maybe 1 hour days the rest of the week. And that's kind of how my week looks when it comes to agency work. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe an hour, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays are the meeting heavy days. The other thing that I've layered into my weeks is on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm actually putting my life into my days first rather than my work. So I'm really wanting to schedule my week around how I feel good operating and executing on my week. I want life to come first as much as possible. And so that's what happens on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. But let's talk about the week for now. Let's give ourselves some guardrails. So on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have my workouts in my calendar. So those are blocked. I can't do other things on those days. I have chiropractor appointment. I have coffees with friends or lunches with friends on those days. I have, what else do I have on those days? Podcast recordings, because those are non-agency things, and appointments or other things like, I have to go get my eyebrows done at some point. I have to go get my arms waxed. I have to go and get my nails done at some point. Like I have to do the like self-care things to make myself look how I look. When do those happen, right? All the appointments are often during the work days, and definitely weekends as well, but I really reserve my weekends for spending time with my husband or traveling. So I really try to make Monday, Wednesday, Friday the days I get those things done. So I'm focusing on appointments and focusing on hanging with friends and workouts and doing a little bit of work in some pockets because some things need to have responses and get things done. So I have an hour of work for the agency happening Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then, like I said, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's when my meetings are stacked. So my Calendly link, my scheduling link for my meetings only has availability for Tuesdays and Thursdays, not the rest of the week. So people, if they want to book a meeting with me or a sales call with me, and my week is full this week and next week, the next available time is 2 weeks from now on a Tuesday. And that's just how it is. That's how my calendar is these days. We're not desperate for clients all the time. So we're not ever actually desperate for clients. And so they will wait. If they really want to work with Matcha Design Labs and they know how good we are, they will wait. So that's actually exactly what happened with one of our upcoming projects. They booked a meeting 2 weeks out because I didn't have availability. And that's okay. I am at a phase in my business where that's how we operate now. And it feels really good because I'm able to put my life first. I'm able to put how I want to feel first. And I'm really grateful for that. But I want to make sure that I share that this took time. This took years and years to get to. And the reason I want to share how I've structured everything is because you can make steps today to get to these structures that I'm talking about. There was a time where I had 3 days a week meetings. So that was like 2022, 2021. Sometimes I only had, I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday were my meeting days. And then in the afternoons, I had sales calls. I think there were so many iterations of this schedule that I just outlined to you. Now it's just a lot more strict, a lot more compact. And I've practiced my boundary drawing so I can say no easily and effortlessly to other people when they might try to book something on a Friday afternoon. I'm like, hey, I don't take meetings at that time. I don't have availability at that time. We can talk on Tuesday instead. And I don't feel bad about it. I am really, truly unapologetic about it because I built my business to have freedom and flexibility in my life. This feels good to me right now. Another thing I want to talk about when it comes to meetings is internal meetings. We rarely have internal meetings with the agency. We experimented with this a couple years ago. We had like a huddle meeting. We had a Thursday meeting, which was a design review. And I realized that they weren't necessarily providing massive value to me or my team or our clients, and it didn't make sense. So we had this Monday like huddle where we talked everything about like what's happening with the clients, and it was something that happened every week. Now that meeting has become a Slack message, which is so cool. So we send a Slack update every week. Hey, here's what's happening with all the clients. If you have questions, ping X, ping Y, ping this person, ping that person. Here are the people that are out of office this week. And so we're very efficient. We took a whole meeting and made it a Slack message where we could interact and everyone knows what to do based on that Slack message. And we also have eliminated a lot of other meetings or check-ins about projects by utilizing Loom. Loom is my best friend. If I had one tool, I don't know, it's actually a toss-up. If I had one tool that I could only use for the rest of my life, it would probably be Loom, maybe Loom and ClickUp. I think I could go with Loom and find ways to replace ClickUp, but don't be mad at me, ClickUp. I love you too. Loom is a wonderful video communication platform. I can install it on my computer, hit record, screen record, and dictate things to my team, tasks to my team, design feedback to my team. And when I'm done, I press stop. It generates a link that I can just paste into a task or paste into Slack and send it over to someone. It's such a great way to explain things. It minimizes confusion. It minimizes meetings. It minimizes, hey, let's hop on a call really quick. Let's chat really quick. I really, really despise those types of meetings. Like, I don't have a quick minute to chat. I actually have a to-do list I'm getting through. I have a plan for my day, and I'd love to watch your Loom video later during the time that I have allotted for that. I'm not about hopping into a quick meeting right now. I'm just not. It's not fun for me. I think maybe for some people it is fun, but that's not fun for me. It's not something I want to do because when you hop into 10 meetings real quick over a week, you have lost so much productive energy. That's why our meeting culture at Matcha Design Labs is an asynchronous first meeting culture. We will always lean towards async communication, which is Slack, which is Loom, versus synchronous communication, which is something like Zoom, where we all have to be on the call at the same time. And for one-on-ones, internal team one-on-ones, I am having them a little bit more infrequently and then having async touch bases. So maybe weekly we check in on Slack, and once a month we have a really nice face-to-face touch base where we talk about everything. I ask how they're doing, and that way I'm still nurturing our relationship and understanding them, making sure they have what they need to get their work done and that they're happy. But it doesn't have to be a weekly 30-minute check-in that is so rigid and takes up a lot of time for everybody. And plus, if you have a team, you're paying for every minute they're on a meeting. So imagine like a meeting like a team huddle tends to get expensive when you have the entire team on there. And then the question is it actually worth the ROI? What is the ROI? And so I started to look at meetings in that way. And it might feel like a really like harsh way to look at meetings, but at the end of the day, we're running a business. At the end of the day, we're not making monopoly money, and we're making real dollars, and I'm paying real dollars. So I am treating every dollar that I spend with respect. I want to make sure if I'm asking people to get on a call and be on a meeting, that I am making sure that is super valuable. It is worth their time to get on a call. It is worth them saying no to other things. It's worth me saying no to other things, because otherwise I just want to go live my life after I finish my work. I want to close my laptop and go live my life. I know everyone here wants to do that as well. So that is how we approach meetings. And that is a big reason that I'm able to have a 15-hour work week. The only people I have long meetings with, for me, a long meeting is 1 hour, is clients, any clients that I'm still working on or interacting with on a regular basis or leading. So that's kind of the setup with meetings. Now, I've shared all of this. Like I said, it took years to get to this, and know that the process will be iterative. Know it might take time. The other components to this that I want to make sure I call out are you have to have a solid project management system. We're not going to dive into that in detail today, but having a project management system like ClickUp is going to be your best friend, and utilize the automations. We have automations in most tools these days. Use them, understand them, allow them to create recurring tasks for you, allow them to auto assign when you change a status, allow them to maybe create a subtask, and that way you're saving time. When you change from one status to another, it creates 10 subtasks for you. You don't have to do it manually every single time. Be smart. Work smart. It's not about working hard. That's not how you win anymore. It is not. It is about working smart. What tools can I leverage? Where is AI going to come in and help me? One of the things we've been doing with our show notes, which is so cool, is our platform that we record on, Riverside, has AI built in, and I can get generated show notes from Riverside, plug them into ClickUp. My assistant reviews it. She edits it. She adds some things in, adds special links that I called out, and then we publish, or we schedule to publish the podcast. How cool is that? We don't have to spend an hour writing show notes or 30 minutes writing show notes. It is insane. So how can we leverage automations? How can we leverage robots, AI to help us and create freedom in our lives? A lot of us are just overlooking these things. We're scared of AI. We're like, AI is going to take over the world, blah, blah, blah. Okay, probably will one day. I mean, we're already on that trajectory, and it's a whole nother conversation. But why not use it to your advantage for now while it makes sense, when it makes sense, and don't fall behind on the curve, because now people are becoming more efficient because they're using AI, and that is how they're able to charge certain prices or work more efficiently or create more profit margins. So we're utilizing automations and AI, and we're utilizing systems and tools. We use Zapier to connect tools together. We are using a lot of different tech to make life easier. And it is a good investment, because if you're able to invest in tech, maybe it's $100 a year for a certain SaaS service, then you might even be saving on a entire half a person's workload. And that is great, because as an owner, as a CEO of a business, that goes back into your pocket, or you can invest in a higher level individual to bring onto your team, which is so cool. So now we're really up leveling the team members to do higher level, more strategic work that actually moves the needle. And then you are getting others to do others, meaning robots or tech or AI, to do the menial work that humans don't want to do. Having this framework is going to put you ahead. And it's one of the other things that I wanted to call out. So we talked about project management system. We talked about robots and AI. And I want to also talk a little bit about the money, because all of this is great, but if I'm losing money all the time, not the vibe. I'm telling you this, we're 12 weeks into the year. We've had really, really wonderful Q1. Like, I'm really proud of our Q1 this year. It's been super profitable. We've had some amazing projects, and the money is rolling in, and it feels really good to be in this place, especially after a really hard year last year. A lot of you listened to my last podcast episode. So I want to talk about that. I want to touch on that. I'm working 15-hour weeks, and we are making good money. Like, I'm giving myself some solid profit shares every quarter, which feels so good. And that's the other piece I want to talk about is you can have a 15-hour work week and still put money in your pocket, and not just small amounts of money, like big amounts of money, like giant bank transfers. I'm talking about 5-figure, 6-figure bank transfers because you made great money that quarter or that year. That is the reality that is available for you and that is possible for you. So this is your, I guess, crash course in how to run a business in 15 hours a week, how to think about it, how to approach it, and know that it's possible to do this. It's possible to still feel really good, really regulated because you're putting your life first, and make big money while you're doing it. Because we're not here for the pennies and the dimes. We're here for the big bucks. We're here to expand. We're here to level up every level of our business, every level of our lives. I'm really excited that I got to record this podcast episode with you. If you have any questions, please send me a note, DM me on Instagram at Avani M. Jane. And otherwise, I will see you in the next episode. Take care.